All right, everybody, welcome to episode 56 of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am K Cosmic.
Today, my friend, we have a few things to talk about.
We absolutely
Obviously,
do.
since Mauer Toten came out, we haven't had as much Mauer Toten hype, but you know what? Mauer Toten's still a great map. The speedrunners are still kicking ass.
Absolutely.
And we have some other zombies news to talk about today, including COD Mobile for once. So,
wow, who would have thought?
Honestly, who would have thought? I didn't think
Like
that
relevant zombies news. I think the biggest thing with COD Mobile that we've had was when the zombie mode actually first came out, like a year ago, over a year ago, and then they took it away because I'm guessing people didn't play it or something. But no, we have some more news surrounding that, so that'll be very interesting to talk about. And it's actually relevant news
that's crazy.
People are actually excited to talk about.
It's honestly crazy. Of all the opportunities to bring back Primis, they're doing it in COD Mobile.
Yeah, I mean,
like, nothing's wrong with COD Mobile, right? I think COD Mobile, it seems like a pretty good game. I only played like a handful of games a long time ago, but it seems like an alright game. And eventually, what I want to do is get an emulator for my PC and play COD Mobile on PC. I know.
I actually tried to set up the Chinese version so that I could play the zombies mode, because in China, the servers for zombies are actually active. So I tried to actually set it up by getting like a VPN and stuff, downloading it. I messed it up somewhere. So I have all this downloaded stuff I don't need anymore. But I think with COD Mobile, I really enjoyed the time I played when it came out. With zombies, it was fun. With actual just multiplayer, I think for a first-person shooter game, the multiplayer is pretty decent, all things considered.
Okay.
And that's why I'm kind of on the same page as you, because the thing with a mobile game is that it'll never beat a console game in terms of just feeling, control, all that stuff. So getting the actual emulator, which you're allowed to do because the actual company that made COD Mobile has its own emulator that it actually made for the PC.
Right.
So there's no shame in using an emulator. I just find with the emulator that it's slightly laggy, just a little bit. But
you know, man, I'll probably end up just playing the zombies on it anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'll jump into a little bit of multiplayer, but if there's zombie stuff involved, I'll do it for sure. And you know, what did I hear the other day? There was something someone said somewhere in the community. I watch a lot of people's videos in the community when I can, and someone said, you know, it's very interesting how they decided to kind of have a Call of Duty legacy type of game through the guise of but through the lens of COD Mobile.
Yeah.
Rather than a game like Black Ops 4. I forgot who said that, because Black Ops 4 kind of laid the groundwork for that with Blackout and how you can play as Primis and Ultimus, and then, you know, some of the Black Ops, you know, you had that Sarah Hall lady from the Black Ops 3 campaign. That was random.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like combining the universes in
I
that
think,
one
I think
area.
Black Ops,
it's like Black Ops 4 started that.
Black Ops 4, in a lot of ways, was the main sandbox for the Black Ops universe, because you had Blackout, you had multiplayer, and with the multiplayer as well, with the specialists. Obviously, the specialists mostly came all from Black Ops 3, because, you know, obviously it's a prequel to in the multiplayer universe. At least it's a prequel. In a way, it did lay a lot of the groundwork for this multi-COD, multi-franchise combination. And they even Treyarch even said that Blackout is Black Ops as a giant Black Ops sandbox. And for them to start doing this with mobile, the one thing I will say that it's a smart move. Obviously, it's free to play. It's gonna have a lot of players on it because it's on a mobile device. You got kids, you got people that just play on mobile anyway. It's I respect the move because many people are going to be playing it, and if they start to actually try like a new story or a new game mode with these characters where it's more story driven with Primis, I think people will enjoy that. But damn, wouldn't it have been nice if it was on a nice, crisp game like Black Ops 4 or Cold War or anything on console or PC?
It would have been really cool to see Primis in Black Ops Cold War in some particular aspect. But you know what? I guess, as the old saying goes, right? Beggars can't be choosers. And
Exactly.
since the zombies committee is begging for our old characters to come back, they're gonna do it this way, I suppose. And I'm just interested to see what happens with it. Obviously, we had that one Portal teaser with the characters talking about,
Yeah.
soldier, get to the rally point or something like that. I forgot what the actual quote was. And
Mm.
Nikolai was talking about something, and Richtofen. And then the other thing is too, and it makes me so sad
I
to
know
say
exactly what you're
this,
gonna say.
but
It
Takio's not
isn't
in the
there.
in the
No.
teaser.
No.
But why? For some people might not know why Takio's not there, because of Tom Kane, the voice actor for Takio. He had a stroke, and he's currently recovering from that. And that it just
It's
makes me
heartbreaking,
sad,
isn't it?
man.
Yeah.
It's just really, really heartbreaking. And I just wish Tom nothing but the best and a hopefully swift recovery. I
Absolutely.
don't know if, I don't know what else is going to be happening with him, and obviously it's not for me to say or know, but I just really hope it all works out for Tom, because I mean that guy, not only is he impactful in the zombies community as one of the main characters, but I mean, just for other cartoons and animated projects, he was in the Powerpuff Girls as the narrator, right? I know a lot of people growing up, probably watch Powerpuff Girls, and especially the female demographic, and he's just in other things. Like for me personally, Star Wars: The Clone Wars. He's the narrator on Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and he's also Yoda. So it's like
He
he's
does quite
definitely
a lot.
impactful in the world of voiceover. And
Yeah.
that's just a small little fraction of what he's done. I'm just talking about some of the roles that he's done that have made big impacts. But man, to see a voice acting icon like that, kind of in this state, it makes me really, really sad. And I just really hope nothing but the best for Tom.
Absolutely. That's all we can do. And again, like you said, hope he has a swift recovery. Obviously, it's been a good few months, hasn't it, since it actually happened?
It has, it
Yeah.
has.
But no, when I heard that and I didn't hear Taki, I knew. I was like, man, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of a sad way to start today's live stream a little bit, guys. But you know what? It's worth mentioning because
Absolutely, yeah.
the zombies community has your back, Mr. Kane. The zombies community has your back.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. What's the chat saying right now? We got Sub Chase won't be in the stream for a bit. I'm moving. Okay, well, thanks for popping in saying hi. Appreciate that. We got oh yeah from Derpy. Oorah, I think's what you meant to say. Let's see. I got a question from Blaze Snipes here. Hey, I've got a question. Do you think zombies being easier over the years caused a downgrade in player and decrease the skill you need to be a competitive player? I mean, in its own respect, I think certain zombies modes have their own kind of difficulty. Um it's not that it's made how to describe this. I don't think that it's decreased the amount of skill you need, because I think every game requires its own style of skill,
Yeah.
because every game is a little bit different than the next. Um, so in that regard, I would say no. But in the other regard, it is no doubt that Black Ops Cold War is definitely an easier game, in certain regards, than a game like Black Ops 1 or Black
I
Ops 2
think
in certain regards, right? Because then it comes down to the microcosms of how you play zombies. So it's
yeah.
a very technical answer.
I think my thoughts on it is obviously past games are harder because we didn't have things like alternate ammo types. In Cold War, one of the big factors is that for rounds, we only have maximum in the higher rounds. Is it like 300 zombies spawning in? I think for
I don't remember the exact
but it's
number, to be
something like
honest.
that. It's not. It doesn't increase like it does in older games. Obviously, as well as that is that the zombies' health doesn't get higher after a certain point. Obviously, with wonder weapons being as strong as they are in Cold War, a lot of the time it's not really much of a big factor. But I think each game, like you were saying before, it takes its own kind of skill to actually be good at. So let's say for Black Ops 2, for example, Black Ops 2 is very much a training about using traps type of game. So if you knew how to maintain the zombies and how to like hoard them all together, and then get the maximum amount of kills, that's a game where you would shine. Look at Black Ops 3, where a lot of the maps are staying in a corner and shooting down your bow, keeping an eye on your ammo, dog rounds, things like that. That game is kind of like, the more camping route. I think the one thing with zombies is that no matter how easy or hard it is, if you get to round, let's say you get to round 100 on Black Ops 2, that could take you anywhere from, I don't know, like 7 to 15 hours maybe, depending on what map you play. Unless it's like Die Rise, right?
Okay.
But if you're going to invest that time into something like Cold War, you should be at least getting, 200, 250. If you kind of get, because
I can
yeah,
understand
you get
that.
what I mean. Yeah, like if you are good at an old game and you play the new one, even though it's a lot easier, what it means is that technically you should be getting to a higher round.
And I think that also shows you just how different the games play, like I was saying earlier. Just because with a map like Marauder Totem, because the Cerberus is such a good wonder weapon, it's not going to take you as long to get to round 100 on Marauder Totem than Transit, for example, with the
Absolutely.
terrible jet gun.
Yeah.
So I think to kind of answer your question, Blaze, it's it's not necessarily as the games are getting easier, the player skill is decreasing because I think it boils down to the game's number one overall mechanics and how every game is very unique from each other. And number two, I think it also is just the map and what's on that map for you to use because certain round 100s are way easier than others on round 100. Like
Exactly.
I said earlier, Mauer der Toten is a easier round 100 than something like Transit or Mob of the Dead. I know Mob of the Dead's round 100 takes a long time to do. So I think it boils down to how maps play specifically
Exactly.
rather than
Yeah.
like the whole game as a whole. And I
Mm.
think competitive players, to kind of round out the question, for competitive players, it's just going to be what particular maps certain competitive players are better at than others, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's uh, just again, for example, maybe I'll be good at a particular challenge that person over here isn't as good at, but they're better at a challenge than I am because they want to do that particular challenge and they've practiced that one. So it's a very individualistic question, I believe, and it boils down to what's going on in the maps. That's gonna be my final answer when it comes down to that.
Yeah, like you're saying, the games are all so unique that each one kind of varies so much from the last. So I think when it comes to play styles, like you said, you could be really good at one game and not be so good at the other, and it depends on other things like maps and mechanics of the game as well. Like look at Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 is a rel. Then you got maps like Tag der Toten where you can use a ballistic knife to get to round 100, or the same thing goes with
Mhm.
Alpha Omega. But then you have a map like Voyage of Despair, which is slightly harder, and players won't get to the higher rounds as easy on. If you kind of get what I'm saying. So I think what a fact
I get what you're
yeah, I think
saying.
what it factors down to is some games are easier than others in certain aspects, but at the same time a lot harder. It's a lot easier to train on a game like Black Ops 2 on the higher rounds than it is in Cold War, because Cold War zombies sprint really fast, they hit really fast, they do a lot more damage than the Black Ops 2 zombies. But at the same time, you're killing zombies a lot faster on Cold War than you are on Black Ops 2.
And that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't take into consideration where the damage that zombies do in Black Ops Cold War surprisingly scales up.
Yeah,
Whereas
no, yeah.
in previous games they don't. It's just, you get hit. That's a hit.
Yeah, Jug works the
But
exact same as it does, and yeah, it's
if if you were to go in and if you guys don't believe me, go into a game of any Black Ops Cold War map, don't buy Jug because there is a certain point where you will go from being a 4 hit to a 3 hit to a 2 hit down. And on round 31, I know for a fact, round 31 is the round where you start being a 2 hit if you don't have Jug and no armor. That is
yeah,
when you start being 2 hit down like you're playing Black Ops 2.
yeah,
So it's definitely different. It's definitely a very different style game. But the chat is also saying if you're new to the game right now, you'll find it a lot easier than something compared to Black Ops 1. Hey man, some people join zombies at different points.
exactly.
It's definitely someone could say that, you know, I think someone could definitely make that argument where, oh, yeah, this is totally easy. And then if they go back to play something like Black Ops 1, because they were accustomed to playing Black Ops Cold War, they're going back to Black Ops 1, which they either haven't played at all or haven't played in a while, like myself. I haven't played Black Ops 1 in a long
Me
time.
either. No.
I'm gonna be rusty. I'm gonna be rusty, and I think that's
Yeah.
gonna be the case for everybody. And you just gotta relearn the game or learn the game if you've never played Black Ops One. So it's
Mm.
again, it all boils down to individual skill, and I think it all boils down to how the game works as a whole. Um, but yeah, just
Yeah.
that's kind of my answer.
Yeah.
I feel like I gave a bunch of different
It's because you
answers
have to,
trying to
Fo.
make it sound
You
like
have
one
to with it.
answer.
It's actually quite a hard question to answer because there's so many factors sticking into place. But one thing I think we can take away from that is that looking at past zombie games, I think the fact there's such a variety in from World at War with it being really buggy to Black Ops 1 for it being more polished to Black Ops 2, 3, 4, and Cold War, that they're so vastly different and they all offer a different experience in terms of
Yeah.
difficulty and playstyle. And I think when you look at the zombie community and sometimes it dries up and there's no content to
Mm.
play. Sure, there's no new content to play, but we have this whole library of games and maps that all play and feel completely different from each other. And
True.
I think that's one thing. So if you want a really easy experience, go into Black Ops 4, Black Ops Cold War, or even Black Ops 3. I say Black Ops 3 probably a bit more in the middle, but if you want a hard experience, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, maybe World at War, depending on what maps
Because
you're
those
playing.
games are a lot more unforgiving, you
Exactly,
know?
because they
It's,
haven't. Yeah, in the future games, you
you
have.
fuck up, you
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
up.
exactly. If you get stuck in a corner in Black Ops 2, there's not really any way of getting out because there's no wonder weapon that's gonna absolutely save you. Sure,
Right.
die rise, liquefier, but any of the other maps really, there's not really much you can do. You know, like it's very
Yeah,
it
no, there's no Ether Shroud, there's no
yeah.
any robot here, there's
The older
no
games punish players a lot more for making stupid mistakes, and that's what you'll find with newer games is that people will make more mistakes, but they won't go down because I can use E for Shroud. I can call in a chopper gunner.
right.
There's many other things that you can actually do to get out of them situations. So, yeah.
And you know, man, that's also part of the reason why it's like recently what I've been doing is I've been doing a lot of Marauder Toten no power runs
Mm,
and trying to get to as high of a round as possible and trying to, actually break the world records actually for no power. Round 36 is my highest round
very
right
nice.
now. Had the record for a few days. Now I got to go take it back. But it's it's one of those things where I'm not using support for it either. So that's definitely a restriction that makes me a whole 100% makes me feel like I'm playing Black Ops 2
Mm.
because of how unforgiving Black Ops 2 is. But the one thing that is definitely different than playing Black Ops 2 is I can just keep buying Quick Revive,
Well,
and
there you
Quick Revive
go.
doesn't run out. But I can't buy a self revive, obviously. So there's that kind of challenge to it too. But and I suppose it's not guaranteed that I will get a kill with tier 5 quick revive either. So
Mm. I mean,
there's
what
definitely a little bit of there's definitely stakes to it.
when you play Mario Hilton and doing the no power challenge, what can you actually access? Quick revive, sure. What other stuff can you actually get? Can you get any other
So
perks?
no, it's only quick
Mm-hmm.
revive. You would think, right? You would think you would have at least maybe Tombstone or Speed Cola because they're all up on those rooftops, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, they decided only Quick Revive is the only perk that's going to be on. I don't know why, but they just decided that.
And obviously, you can get the
Uh,
wonder weapon.
well, that's the funny thing. You need the power to use the rappel lines on Marauder Totem.
Oh,
So you can't go to the trial computers and get yourself a wonder weapon out of the trials. You have to hit the mystery box. So you have to hit the mystery box, get the Cerberus or the ray gun. Doesn't matter which one because
yeah.
both of them work really, really well for this challenge. And just try to survive. I noticed too, because I did a two-player game earlier in the week, and I noticed on two-player no power, don't know why, no disciples spawn in.
Really?
Don't know why. They just don't for some reason. But on one player, no power, you do have disciples that spawn in. So there's definitely different degrees of difficulty for no power.
Yeah.
And the main focus and just tips and tricks with Jason, right? The main focus for this is not necessarily relying on your wonder weapon, it's crafting semtexes and crafting C4s and making sure you continue to do that. Because
Yeah.
while you can't craft support and you can't use the war machine or the combat bow, you can still use grenades and stuff.
And
So
grenades in Cold
that's
War
what
are very
yeah,
good.
grenades in Cold War, brilliant. I'm
Mm.
so glad they overhauled that whole system and they made explosives and equipment actually viable.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, man, it's definitely a really challenging experience. It really gets you on your toes as a zombies player. And later this week, I'm gonna be hopping back into it, and I'm already thinking of new strategies, and I just love that. I just love that kind of a feel. So,
Yeah, like
uh,
I can definitely see the appeal because there's like the whole leaderboard aspect, and just out of curiosity, where are the leaderboards kind of hanging around like right now? Is it Zombie World Records again, or is it Pizza's website?
yeah, yeah, people are basically going back to ZWR. I honestly haven't heard any extra news from Codename Pizza's website,
Yeah, they
just because I just haven't been able to get in still.
yeah.
Like
I actually got in. I actually got
you
into the
got
web.
in.
I got into the website, but
Well, what the heck?
from getting in, I don't know what happened, but I think something put me off from using it. It was like, oh, I'll deal with that later, and I never went back to it. But
Hmm.
the actual official Twitter page for the website itself, I don't think it's actually been really pushing stuff too much out, and he hasn't really been talking
No,
about it
I
either.
mean,
I think
yeah, that's the thing.
over time it'll do well, but
Yeah.
you kind of need to push it out if you want people to actually, you know,
Well, here's the thing about that. I think it's definitely I really like his idea. I really like his idea of zombies
yeah,
esports and you know, another place for the community to go, another place for the community to just share records, share gameplay. You don't even have to do records. You can just share gameplay. It's a zombies community kind
mm,
of hub. So that's what I really like about it. And for those of you who are confused as to what I mean by I haven't gotten in yet, back at the beginning when the website launched, they were supposed to send people a confirmation code to actually confirm your account on the website, and people just never got that email, including me. So I've tried again, and I just it just hasn't happened. So I don't know if it's still a problem. I don't know what's
well,
going
what
on
I'm
with
gonna do right
that,
now is I'm
but
actually gonna try and log in. I think I have my password saved.
okay. So yeah, basically that's what I mean by I can't get in. You know, I wish I was able to get in a lot sooner, but oh well, I guess it happens.
Robot, keep in, log
You know,
in.
some of the issues have to be kind of worked out because it is still a fairly newer website. So some of the issues still have to be worked out,
Wrong
and I
password.
think when everything is at 100% and everything is working the way it's intended, I think it'll be a fantastic website.
I I
And
can't
people just have to log in,
I can't remember my password, but I'm gonna write that down on a list of things I need to get sorted out soon, so I can actually
and
get
there we
onto it.
go,
And there we go.
and there we go. Well, there you go. But yeah, Zombies Esports seems like a pretty cool website. I want to jump into it
mm.
sometime. Don't know when, but
Yeah,
sometime.
because I don't even know the actual
Uh,
layout of it yet. Is it? I'm guessing it's maybe
Now
some.
that I do have a little bit of insight on. It's basically you have okay, here's the records area. So how it works, and I saw someone screenshot this. It was you go to the website and you have a video you want to post. Now, depending on what kind of video you made, you can choose what kind of category it goes in. So you can say, "Oh yeah, this is high round gameplay. This is a funny moments
Oh,
video.
okay,
This is
that's
a
cool.
record gameplay."
Yeah,
And so it kind of puts itself in that category of whatever you want to upload it as.
yeah.
So that's where a lot of people in the zombies community could go to the website and go, "Oh, you know what? I wanna watch someone get to a really high round on Mauer Toten. Let me look that up on the Zombies Esports site. Whoa, you know what I'm saying."
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a cool idea. I really like that they did that. Um, but yeah, another speaking of leaderboard websites and stuff, Zombie Community as well. Their leaderboards have been down for a while.
Is
Their
this
leaderboards have been
the
down for a
this
while.
is the other community website?
Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
the other community. You have Zombie Community, and you have Zombicus.
Hmm.
And Zombicus is that website for those of you who might not know. You can track your in-game stats. You can track gobblegum cycles. You can track
Oh,
power-up
okay.
cycles, things like that. Like it's a really technical website that you can go. Camo trackers for Dark Ether or whatever. And then you have the other website, which is Zombie Community with the capital B, Zombie
B.
Community, where it's the leaderboards.
Yeah.
And the leaderboard side of things has been down for a while because if you go to the website, they say they're changing ownership. So I wonder when that's going to come back up because I know they have their own, kind of
Yeah.
records and their own categories there. So it'll be really interesting to see if they can
Mm.
come back up soon. But Zombicus is actually kind of a cool tool. I've used it a couple times, and it seems pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Seems pretty interesting to me.
I can definitely like for the high round games that you want to optimize stuff for. Definitely, I can.
Mhm.
And you say that that's for that can track Dark Ether as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that
you basically you can just be like, "Oh yeah, I earned this camo today," and then the game will be like, "You are 10% of the way till Dark Ether." Like,
yeah.
it's like it's cool.
Speaking of Dark Ether, how close are you now? You must be fairly close.
Two more weapons.
Sniper
Two more weapons.
rifles, rocket launchers.
The Sigma and the RPG.
Fuck, that's bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you know
that's
what? I have them leveled up to the proper level for me to actually earn every single camo.
yeah.
So that's going to be a live stream sometime this week. I'm editing the video for the Pellington because I just did the Pellington last week and I got Plague Diamond on the snipers. So I'm editing the video for that. It'll be posted sometime later this week on my channel. And then
Okay.
sometime later this week, I'll be streaming the final mainline Road to Dark Ether episode. And the reason why I say mainline or main episode, I guess you could say, is because I want to do the DLC weapons too eventually. So,
Yeah.
you know, Dark Ether camo on the I don't know, the Street Sweeper, on the Sledgehammer, on the E-Tool, like
Yeah.
whatever, right? So that I think I'm still trying to figure out a name for that. I'm thinking like Dark Ether Plus or something. You know what I'm
Something
saying? Like
about plus
something
on
kind
it.
of catchy like that.
Yeah. Definitely, because it's been quite a journey for you. Because it's been 8 months since you would have roughly started this ish, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, since Black Ops Cold War came out is when I basically first started. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, like a day or maybe 2 days after Black Ops Cold War came out, I posted my first Road to Dark Aether video for the knife.
Well, there you go. Oh,
So yeah,
can
it's the very
we
beginning.
just reminisce of how good Cold War's launch was? I know we're kind of scattering throughout all topics today, but
Hey, it happens.
it
It happens
happens. But
sometimes.
Cold, here's what I want to chat to get their opinions as well. How great was the first week of Cold War coming out? How great was it?
Spectacular.
I remember that so fondly. I remember staying up late. I got a whole crate of Monster. And I had so many
I
of them.
remember that.
Yeah, I got a whole crate of
Yeah.
Monster to play it. Remember when D Machine first came out, going for high rounds because they didn't actually have the Easter egg unlocked. Because obviously this is where they probably started up the trend. I think they did it with BO4
yeah.
at some parts as well, but they didn't have Easter eggs unlocked, so it was just a case of okay, play the game. And
Yeah.
God, I that's a fun
Dude,
time.
I remember for the first time because the first time playing Zombies Onslaught was with you. And that was a fun video because
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, we're doing all this new shit and whoa, new two-player Zombies Onslaught game mode. I gotta say though, Zombies Onslaught was fucking terrible at the
Oh yeah,
launch
no, it was.
of Cold War,
The only
and
reason it's
now
good
it's
now,
such a
yeah.
better game mode.
I've seen
It's
people
actually fun to play.
I've seen people say that Onslaught is the best side game mode Zombies has had ever. And honestly, I can
I
kind
can
of
get
agree
behind
with
it,
it because they've actually
but
updated. I don't know.
I feel like it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I feel like if they added grief, that could have been a really, really
Oh
good
yeah,
game
no.
mode for this game. But
I
continue.
hope they do add grief at some point, but probably not. I think I still
Yeah.
think I still think back to Black Ops 4 and when it was launch day and Jason Blundell said oh yeah, grief's ready for Black Ops 4. We just haven't added it yet. It's ready. We didn't want to overwhelm the players. And then
Just like factions.
just like factions, yeah.
Just
Factions
like
are
my
ready.
poor factions.
Factions are ready. They're coming to Black Ops 4. Man,
Man,
factions.
the long lost
Yep.
feature. The one of the biggest memes in the zombies community too. Uh dude, I that's just so sad to me because that would have been such a cool thing to do.
I think
You know?
factions would have made. Because here's the thing, factions in a way is what I feel like Cold War needs because it has good gameplay. I don't know if
I feel you.
factions would have saved Black Ops 4 in the sense that the community was pretty
Didn't we
hit.
talk about this last week?
Did we? Yeah, I think we did talk about factions a little.
I think we talked about this last week with Kingman because yeah, we did because I remember saying at the beginning of Black Ops Cold War, I made a video talking about well because Requiem and Omega are
Yeah,
enemies. Those are going to be the factions, guys. Like
yeah. I think
That was like my huge theory video. Like, whoa, factions could potentially be added to Cold War. Which again, it's a theory video. I didn't say anything based off of any kind of fact. It was just my
no,
own kind of
absolutely,
like,
yeah.
oh, this would be cool.
That would be cool, yeah. I think because here's the problem with Black Ops 4. The community didn't like Black Ops 4 after the first few weeks, and it wasn't the little changes they
Yeah,
could make. It was the gameplay, the HUD, the perk system, everything about the game a lot of people really didn't like.
crashing.
Yeah, crashing as well. So I don't think factions would have actually did that game all that good. And I can imagine they probably put a lot of time into it as well. And for them just to add it, kind of like mutations in a way, for them just to add it for the community to be like, nope,
Uh,
bad, next. I think Cold War could have definitely used them. If Cold War added them in, I think they would have been really good.
oh yeah, by all means. I mean, dude, custom mutations is one of the most underrated parts of Black Ops 4. Now, granted, I didn't use custom mutations all too much, right? A lot of the times, though, I did find myself going to custom mutations to make thumbnails
Yeah.
because you can just set the game mode settings to whatever the hell you want, and you can kind of manipulate the game in a
Oh yeah,
particular way. So
no.
you can
It's
do
like
that.
if you want a good shot like Brutus or something, you set all the zombies to walking speed, and then like you
Mhm.
you pull out a monkey or something just so you can get a good shot. I mean, actually, you got theater mode in that, don't you?
Yeah, and even like tutorials, I went to custom mutations too
Because
because
it's
it's like,
easier.
okay, I could just make a tutorial in custom mutations and obviously not like an Easter egg tutorial, but like build the shield tutorial,
Yeah,
right? I
exactly.
can just
Yeah.
go into custom mutations, give myself 100,000 points, open up the whole map on round one, and show everybody where things are in a low round without having to be annoyed at trying to get us all the footage in the high rounds. So custom mutation was definitely a very useful tool on the content creation side for me personally. I don't know how everyone
Yeah.
else used custom mutations, but honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't mind actually going back and doing a Black Ops 4 stream sometime soon and actually just playing around with custom mutations. That sounds like a fun idea.
Yeah, I went back and actually played, and I made it so that only Brutus is spawned in, like around
Oh
50.
yeah.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah, a lot of
because
people. I know people did that a lot for
with
particular enemies.
with Black Ops 4, there's actually quite a lot you could do with the game in terms of like just doing
Hmm.
weird challenges. The one drawback is obviously that you couldn't do Easter eggs. But
Yeah.
here's a little hint towards my next video, and it's about how zombies
Oh.
needs to evolve. And I think zombies needs to evolve in the way that we need a standalone game. And I think the community all wants this, and I think this is what we need for zombies to take that next step and for us to get out these periods where we get a map like Marauder Toten and now we're left waiting for so long for other stuff coming out. And I think this the standalone zombie game, and this was obviously leaked out a while ago as well, that they're making a standalone zombie game. Obviously, leaks are leaks, take it with a grain of salt. But we could get the
Yeah.
best of all games. We could get I don't know. I'd imagine they probably use the Modern Warfare engine. Do what you want, as long as it's fun and feels snappy and like good, like Cold War. I don't care. But we would get theater mode, mutations, some sort of gobblegum system that isn't pay to win. You can do raids, all these like features in. So you have your classic maps, you have your
Yeah.
raids where you go kind of like Destiny, where you make your way through the maps and find a boss fight, and you get a random weapon that you can get that has altered.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think personally, for zombies to really take the next step and for us to get out of these periods where we're bored, we need more of a grind factor, and I think raids are perfect for that.
Yeah, it's interesting because the grind factor of zombies as it stands right now is Dark Ether.
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
the grind.
And don't get me wrong, there's
But then
tiers as
that's
well.
it.
There's tiers as well. When new tiers come out, blast.
Right for the battle pass.
Not I was meaning more the perks and stuff, but no, that's there as well.
Oh, for the tiers?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, no,
yeah.
no. Yeah.
I don't
When
really
new
yeah.
perks come
I
out,
don't really see
here's the
I don't really see the battle pass as a grind, to be honest. I see the battle
I
pass
mean, me
as
personally, I like to get all the battle pass
I
items
do as well.
because
I do as
that's
well.
just me.
Yeah,
So I like to grind the battle
you've
pass.
paid your money, so you want your
Yeah,
stuff. I'm quite bad.
pretty much.
I haven't gotten uh the past two battle passes. Um I missed out on like a few tiers, which I'm quite annoyed about because I'll probably never see them again. But
No.
I'm gonna get this battle pass done, and then I'll buy the next one with the card points I've saved from this one. But
Mhm,
as far as the actual grind factor, go ahead.
mhm. Oh, no, no, I was just getting my next thought ready, which I was just gonna say, which by the way, thank you to whoever at Activision implemented that idea to put COD points in the battle pass, so you can just straight up recycle the COD points.
Yeah.
That you don't, if you buy, let's just say you just didn't have enough COD points, so you bought COD points one time to buy the first battle pass. You don't have to worry about it ever again, because you'll get those COD points back from the battle pass to buy the next one.
If you never buy,
If you don't buy any store bundles, right?
and
But
that's the thing. That's the thing. I think they're like, right, we're gonna make store bundles that look so cool that the people will have to buy them
for 20, 25 bucks.
Yeah, I mean, they've made some cool stuff before. I've mostly just used it to buy new weapons when they come out, so I don't have to do the annoying challenges. But but no,
Oh
I mean,
man.
I think the thing is though as well is with a standalone zombie game, I feel like the whole push towards the battle pass and microtransactions wouldn't be as strong. I feel like they definitely go more about around like a maybe like an infinite warfare route where we have variants of weapons that do different things. Because I feel like in past games like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1, where weapons would do cool things when you pack a punch them, added a lot of personality to them. I think we need that, but maybe not in the extent where it's like, oh, it becomes dual wielder or whatever. I think it should be, you can customize the weapons your way you want. But let's say, for example, Infinite Warfare. You could have an LMG, right? That shoots standard bullets, or you could get a variant that shoots 2 bullets at once but slower.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? Black Ops Cold War kind of has that in a way, where you can put specific attachments on your gun to cater to a particular. It might be a very small play style, but it's definitely
Oh yeah, no,
a different, unique
but
way to play nonetheless, with the different flashlights to help you get salvage drops and things like
yeah,
that. There's also the bundles in the store, which obviously are going to be like 20 or 25 bucks, but you have the bundles in the store with the weapons that actually do the elemental
yeah,
damage, like
that's
the like that what's, I forgot what it's called, the SWAT Master, I think it's called, the XM4 that does
yeah,
the shock damage, the Incubator, which does the toxic damage, that's the M16.
yeah,
So it's like there are variants like that. There are weapons like that in the
yeah,
game. They're just locked behind a
exactly.
paywall.
Which sucks. I mean more in the extent where you can get weapons that you can only get through doing like raids or something. There is no paywall.
Right. Yeah,
It's
no,
like
I get what you're saying.
yeah,
I get what you're
yeah.
saying.
I get Cold War does have something kind of like that, I guess in a way. But they could even double down on it, make it so the weapons just did completely different stuff. Like imagine a shotgun that's like like an Argus, right? Where you
Mm-hmm.
shoot and then like you take it back to put in your next shot. Perhaps you could do
Mm-hmm.
like 2 shots rapidly, like, and then you have to take a bit longer to take that back. Like when they're pack a
Well,
punch
you
and stuff.
never
I
know.
think variants of weapons that do cool little unique things from each other would be just fun if they're going to do the whole like raid style stuff. But I
Yeah.
think my biggest problem with zombies right now, I keep rambling on about this, is that I feel like personally the maps are great in Cold War, amazing maps, really fun, replayable as well. But good maps will only get me so far. I want something to grind for, and I feel like with Cold War, there's not really been a lot to grind, like
Hmm.
we were saying before. And I feel like for whatever next game they do, give us stuff to
Well,
kind of
we'll have to
grind.
find
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
We'll have to find out if anything happens like that in the future. And, I mean, we'll see if World War II Vanguard Zombies has anything extra to grind for besides a mastery camo and things like that. So, I mean, I don't really know. Maybe with the addition of COD Mobile Zombies coming back, kind of backtracking from earlier in the podcast,
Yeah.
uh, maybe COD Mobile Zombies will have some sort of grind system to it. But then, what's also funny about this too? I have to bring this up. I have to bring this up. Just because we saw Primis, does that necessarily mean Zombies is coming back 100%? I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds
It
crazy, everybody.
it
I
could
know.
just be
But it could just be their character skins are in the game now, right? Kind of like
absolutely, yeah.
Blackout. How Primus and Ultimus are just kind of in Blackout, and you could do the challenges for them and whatever, right?
Hmm.
It sounds kind of crazy, but I could see them doing that instead of actually doing COD Mobile Zombies again. But I think more likely than not, they're gonna add zombies to the game again.
Yeah.
There's I know that there is some evidence out there to suggest that COD Mobile Zombies is going to come back. So it's I think it's more likely than not it's zombies. But hey, you never know. That could be a possibility too. But I'm just throwing it out there. I just
Yeah,
see what happens.
exactly. I think there's a pretty decent chance the game mode will come back. I think it's because when they took it away, they said they were never not going to put it back. They didn't say that it was never going to come back to the game. They wanted to improve on it because it
Right.
wasn't ready for people to play. So I think when it does come
Yeah.
back, it'll be a lot better than it was before. I think if we do get if we do get like a set group of characters for the zombie game mode, it'll be. I wouldn't maybe even say Primis. I think Primis again. I think that's definitely oming towards maybe more the multiplayer game mode and like battle royale game modes as well.
Hmm.
But I think when COD Mobile Zombies does come back, I think it'll be fun. It'll be a fun thing to play on the side. Get an emulator on your PC to play it. I think it'll be quite enjoyable. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I think that's the thing with COD Mobile. It's a lot of we have to wait and see.
Yeah. And it makes me again want to play COD Mobile because, like I said earlier, I haven't played a ton of COD Mobile, and I know it's we also said this earlier, the kind of legacy game for Call of Duty where you have so many things from so many games in that particular game, Black Ops 2 weapons and things from the Modern Warfare universe and just a bunch of just random stuff from all the different Call of Duty games across
Mm,
the years in this game, which is pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool concept. Uh, but yeah,
yeah,
just again, just have to wait and see
yeah,
what happens with
yeah.
zombies. We'll have to
We
see if it's good again.
we actually have a message in chat from Game Over saying, "Which map do you think is the best for COD Mobile?" I'm going to interpret that as what zombie map we'd like to actually see in the game. I think that's how I'm going to spin that on that. Um,
Yeah, since we don't have any maps right now.
no, it could be mini multiplayer, but we'll just bring it around for zombies. Uh,
Yeah, for multiplayer, I don't know. I know Nuketown's in there for multiplayer. That's about all
I know
I
there's
know,
a
to be
lot of
honest with you.
Black Ops 2 maps in it. I've in a way, COD Mobile,
Hmm.
a really fun game. It's just sad that it's stuck on a mobile device, and I know people are quite okay with that. And again, it's good for what it is, but it'd be nice if it was on like an actual
Uh-huh.
like a good engine. But I think
Yeah, it'd be cool.
I think for mobile, I think big maps probably aren't the way to go. And I think something
Yeah.
more like the Reese or Classified or what's another?
Well, they had Shinonuma at the beginning. They
Yeah,
had that
exactly.
Shinonuma operation thing
Yeah,
where you fought a boss at the end of it, right?
you
Like you
could
didn't
do.
it wasn't
Yeah.
even like round based.
Well,
It was
you
just you
had
survived
what
like
you could
10
do
rounds or
is
something. Like
you could you had the round based mode, which had a timer on it, which I think they're planning of trying to take away later on.
hmm,
You have the boss fight modes where you have the hardcore one and you have the normal one. So the hardcore one was I think you fought a giant thrasher, and I think the normal ones
okay.
where you fought a scorpion, I think, and like this arena.
Okay.
So they had a mode dedicated to more like the Easter egg like path, and then they had a mode dedicated to more high rounds.
Hmm,
But they also had an actor in
okay.
Toten that they showed gameplay for a while back as well. That's in the game. It's all set up,
Oh.
and I think you can even access that now in the Chinese version of the game, which is
Oh,
quite
wow.
cool. Yeah. Um, but I think completing that World at War set of maps first would be quite nice because they're small. It gives us time to kind of adapt to the game, and I know there's transit kind of floating about in the game as well because
Oh, no shit.
there's really early gameplay of transit being one of the main maps in the game, and they kind of took it away actually.
Oh, wow.
I think towards when they were actually releasing it, but I think keep it with the
Wow.
smaller maps for now. I think that's what COD Mobile kind of needs. I don't think it needs maps like Origins or Mob just yet. Leave it a little bit and then maybe do it.
That would be honestly kind of crazy for a small map to have a very complex map like Origins or Dreisendrach or
Yeah,
Shadows of Evil. Could you imagine Shadows of Evil on your phone?
it would still
That'd
look.
be that'd be so cool,
Yeah,
but your phone would be on fire,
it would still look
probably.
nicer than the PlayStation 3 version. Honestly,
Oh,
I I
dude,
I s-
anything looks better than last gen Black Ops 3. World
I
at War looks better than
yeah.
last gen Black Ops 3.
I still need to play Black Ops 3 in last gen. I have it for the PS3. I bought it because I seen it at my local UK version of a
Oh
GameStop.
no.
I bought it like a few months ago, so I need to actually install it and play it and get my PlayStation set up for a live
Dude.
stream. I'll absolutely live stream that. Get to around
Wow.
100. I'll buy all the DLCs. No, I'll play Shadows of Evil, and that's it.
Dude, like, it's amazing to me that it even happened in the first place, too.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because Shadows of Evil in last gen was really good for finding Easter egg steps because things were so obvious. They weren't quite because obviously a Black Ops 3 was quite a textured game and detailed.
Yeah.
Last gen really wasn't because they were just trying to port it over as fast as they could. So when they were actually making
Yeah.
the Easter eggs in it, they were like, right, just throw that model in there. So it's like I don't know, like a hat, a part of the Easter eggs, like finding a hat or something. It's like literally like
Yeah.
standing out.
I
Quite funny.
I don't know. Like, it's one of those things that you go, man, they really wanted to squeeze as much out of this game as possible. Even if it
Yeah,
was downgrading the game and to put it on a last gen console to try to get something. They didn't even have a campaign. Now,
yeah,
obviously the Black Ops 3 campaign is the
sucked.
greatest, but
Yeah,
it's the fact of the matter is it wasn't even a complete game that was on
yeah,
last gen.
which
And
is
that just makes you go, holy shit, dude. Like
wow.
like somebody had to sit down and go, this is fine. Like somebody
Yeah, and it's weird as well because all the past games, even the ports over from like Advanced Warfare and Ghost, they were on last gen as well. There's just something about
Mhm.
Black Ops 3 that looked like it was a PS2 game. Like
Yeah, I had Ghost on on Xbox 360 and that looked
it
fine.
looked absolutely fine. Yeah, it didn't look too much different from
Yeah.
next gen at all, to be honest. But like,
Yeah.
I think, man, it's kind of weird. It's weird to think that a mobile game looks better than a game from like it's it's weird as well. We say last gen, but it's like last gen, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
The
so weird.
future. We're in the future, man. It's
And still no
now we're getting old.
still no sight of getting a PS5. Oh man, I
Somehow, some way, I will get a PS5.
does
Don't
yeah
know how, but somehow, some way
yeah.
I will.
Does it scare you that it feels like yesterday that Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 were the main platforms?
I don't think to me it feels like yesterday, but to me it definitely I don't know how to describe it, man. Like I still think PlayStation and Xbox One, like this is the current thing. Like I still think PS4 is the most up to date one, just because I
Yeah,
don't have a PS5. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm tricking myself into thinking
again,
that
there's nothing
PS4 is
better.
current gen,
Yeah.
but then PS5 is current gen now. So it's like holy fuck,
Uh
it's crazy.
I mean, would you okay, right. Did you enjoy school?
Certain parts, not
Yeah.
everything, but certain
Okay.
parts.
Would you go back in time? Like, how old are we now? Like, you're 21, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're 21. Okay. Would you go back like 5 years into the past and have a week in the past, kind of like Shrek Forever After, kind of like that, where you had like a
Uh-huh.
day to be an ogre again? Would you do that and just be like a kid again? Would you do that?
You know,
Or are you quite content with where you are?
the thing is, I think it would be if I were to do that, I would like to see how much things have changed.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
I mean, it's not a
to
normal
me,
set of
it's
years.
like it'd be great to go back and to be like, wow, I'm reliving this really happy time again, right? Of course that'd be great. But to me, what I think I'd be the most fascinated in personally is just going back and just seeing how different things are now, If I were to go back in time and tell and just I mean, I know, talking to yourself, that breaks the time space continuum, right? Like I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we're not going to go there. But
No.
just theoretically, if it didn't fuck anything up, right? Just going back, and if you were to tell Jason in high school that, hey, yeah, by the way, part of what you're going to be doing is YouTube and Twitch, and you're going to be doing that. You're going to be meeting a lot of awesome people. You're going to make friends through this. You're gonna open a lot of doors to opportunities. I mean, Jason back then would just be super ecstatic,
Yeah.
because that was when I was just kind of going into the zombies community in a way
Absolutely, yeah.
where I was really getting into Black Ops 3 and, I mean, 5 years ago, right? 2021 to 2016. I mean, that's Black Ops 3's life cycle, And
Oh,
I
again,
remember
it's
I remember vividly. I remember vividly certain memories of just, playing Zetsubo for the first time or,
mm,
playing Gorod Kroger for the first time. So I would definitely like to go back and see the contrast between how it was before and now and how it is now, and just be really, it would give me it would remind me to appreciate,
the moment.
the little moments,
Yeah, I think as
and I
well.
think I think everyone should appreciate the little
Yeah,
moments.
I think as well. I think going back is a double-edged sword because I think first of all, when you think back to like Brian Black Ops 3 days, you
Hmm.
you think of nostalgia, you think of like oh how good the game was, but nostalgia
Yeah.
is called nostalgia because it kind of makes things appear better than they actually were. Obviously,
Mm.
like in how like 5 years will feel about like that about the current moment here, and then consistently going, it'll be
It
the
could,
exact
yeah.
same. Yeah, exactly. But I think going back to like 5 years ago, before the world decided to die, I think that'd be quite nice just to experience for a week because we'll get back to like a normality at some point. But I'd like to go back to where that wasn't a problem and it was just all normal. If you get what I mean.
Well, man, I totally get what you mean, and it's gonna be. Yeah, we definitely won't be in this situation forever.
Exactly. Yeah.
I am confident
Hmm.
in saying that. I think we will not be in the situation the world is forever.
Yeah.
Um, because humans, just one quick little thing, we'll get back to the zombies, but humans are so resilient and powerful.
Hmm.
We are a powerful species. We just have to harness that power.
Exactly.
That's what it is, and we all gotta awaken that inner power to continue to strive for more and to continue for better days ahead and to really continue pushing. So,
Yeah.
um,
I
I
mean,
guess to officially answer your question, I would like to I'd like to see how different things were, just because I'd be interested to be like, oh, that's funny how different that is to today. But
yeah.
would I go back and actually like live the day? I'm just a totally different person than I was 5 years ago. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't.
Well, there you go.
I probably wouldn't because I'm a totally different person than I was 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's the answer. Fun
And there you
question to
go.
ask, though.
It's like reading the Chronorium, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like reading the Chronorium. The Chronorium, okay, number one, that's gonna be a really trippy fucking thing to read. Number one, right? Because you're literally reading about alternate universes, and oh yeah, by the way, this is gonna happen. You can't fucking stop it. Like that'd be a really trippy
Yeah.
fucking thing to say. Oh yeah, by the way, this universe will prevent you from doing this, so you got to go time travel if you like. That'd be crazy. If the
Yeah.
Chronorium was real, that'd be crazy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, a lot of interesting stuff happening in the Call of Duty scene, I guess you could say as well. Just because not only do we have COD Mobile, we have COD Mobile being making a bit of a comeback in the zombie scene. We
Yeah.
also have this week too, touching a little bit on the Call of Duty League. Today is the final day of matches for the regular season for the Call of Duty League
Oh,
before
wow.
the Stage 5 tournament and before Champions, which is in August. So the Call of Duty League is about to come to an end pretty soon, and it'll be really interesting to see who takes
Yeah.
home the trophy this
I mean,
year.
you're very
FaZe
in.
is on a fucking
Yeah,
tear.
you're very into your esports and that. I want to get into them
Yes.
because I think very entertaining to watch. And you watch people play, you're
Mhm.
like, oh come on, yeah, you know, it's like a sport, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's why they call it
Yeah,
esports, obviously.
esports. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But no,
Yeah, man.
I think in the future I really want to get more into esports and just enjoy that as
It's
entertainment.
absolutely, man. It's really fun, honestly, watching the CDL pros and, watching what some of these teams are getting up to, too, because, a lot of these teams, and you wouldn't see it on the surface level if you just watch the streams, right? But
Yeah.
if you follow some of these teams on Twitter and you see what they're doing as well, they're doing a whole slew of other things that don't even pertain to the Call of Duty League directly. Like I know for a fact, Minnesota Rocker, they're signing content creators, they're
Yeah.
signing Warzone players, and things like that. So, and now obviously Warzone, there's Warzone tournaments every other week, it seems like, but they're signing Warzone players. And Florida Mutineers, they're signing content. They signed a content creator not that long ago too. So these organizations are definitely doing other things to solidify their brand as a brand, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have Revived in the chat saying New York Subliners, they did the same thing too. So a lot of these esports organizations, I think what a lot of people we need to realize at the end of the day, some of these organizations, like, or some of the teams, are owned by bigger organizations, right?
Yeah.
Like Florida Mutineers, owned by Misfits Gaming. And Misfits Gaming might be more of a familiar name to people than Florida Mutineers, but a lot of people don't see that,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting. So to me, it's a really interesting thing to see that, Florida Mutineers is going to go out and sign a content creator to do something under the name Florida Mutineers, right? Or like
Yeah.
Minnesota Rocker, for example, they're owned by Version 1. Version 1 might be, again, a bit more of a familiar name, but Minnesota Rocker themselves is going to go out and find players to distinguish their identity as a team and as a atmosphere of a team in a way.
Yeah.
So it's not just, oh yeah, version 1's Call of Duty team, Minnesota Rocker, and that's it. Rocker's going to have its own identity to it as well.
Mm.
Like Rocker's going to try to have their own identity. New York Subliner is going to have their own identity. All these teams are going to try to have that specific identity that makes them them, and I think that's a really, really cool thing.
Yeah.
And contrary, not contrary, because it is working in favor for who actually owns them, like Version 1 and things like that. But it's definitely very interesting to see how it's like the tier list in a way of. So Version 1 owns Rocker, and Rocker signs this
Yeah.
content creator, and this content creator, it's kind of like this cascade of different roles that everybody
Yeah.
has that I think is really cool for the esports world personally. So it's really interesting. And obviously,
Absolutely.
and we can't say this without saying this either with Obey Alliance and Obey Undead. We can't not mention that too,
Mm.
because Obey Alliance obviously owns Obey Undead.
Well, there you go.
So it's you see it in other esports organizations too,
Yeah.
where Obey Undead is also, they have their own identity too, which
Yeah.
I think is very fascinating.
Yeah. I think esports is the future of entertainment. And I think if you're not
Agreed.
running along right now, you need to get on that.
In the next 2 to 3 years, I'm saying this right now, in the next 2 to 3 years, it will be confirmed that esports is bigger than the entertainment industry. I'm telling you right
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
Esports will be a bigger industry than the movie industry, bigger than Hollywood. I'm
Yeah.
telling you
Definitely.
right now. In 2 to 3 years from now, it's going to happen.
Mm.
And I'm not just saying that to sound super smart. I'm saying that because esports is growing dramatically
Yeah.
and very, very quickly. So I think it's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years, where that's going to be the top tier of the apex of entertainment.
Mm.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Gonna be good. Gonna be good.
It's going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. Especially since I you know me. I really like the idea of doing more for the Call of Duty community.
Yeah.
Call of Duty Zombies community for esports. I really like that idea. And if there's anything out there that would be willing to do something on the zombies front, sign me the hell up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it'd be so cool. It'd be so cool to just like grow this community into something more. Because you're talking about the next evolution of Call of Duty Zombies. Well, I
Yeah.
think the next evolution of the game is a standalone game. The next evolution of the
Entertainment.
community is esports.
Yeah.
That's where I think it
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
I think where the community can step it up from here is esports. Get involved more in esports, and really try to create that culture. Really try to create that competitive culture that I know you can say a lot of people, and I've seen argue zombies isn't competitive. You can't make competitive zombies. Well, you can.
Yeah.
You can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You can make competitive zombies. There's a culture behind every game that makes it competitive.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a speed run. I don't care if it's you're playing Nintendogs. on your DS, I really don't care what it is. Can you breed the dogs better than the other person? That's a competition.
Exactly.
There's a culture behind every game on the competitive front.
Yeah.
And even if you might not realize it, even if it's not right in front of you, that culture must be awakened. That culture
Mm.
has to be, the fire has to be lit under it, which is why, Obey Undead, Zombies Esports, you have the Zombies leaderboard site, which I know has had a lot of drama and a lot of things happen in the past. But it's the little things like that that continue to try to establish this competitive culture, the competitive culture side of Call of Duty Zombies that I think can really help the community level up.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think it's going to be great. It's going to be
Mm.
great to see what happens. I think in the next couple of years with the growth of the esports industry, and if Call of Duty Zombies and the Zombies community is willing to grow with it,
Mm.
we're gonna be eating good, my friend. We're gonna be eating good.
Very good.
So that's my super long esports rant. That's my hot take of the day.
That's your hot take of the day.
My hot take of the day, and you can't say otherwise because esports is gonna grow super rapidly. It's already growing rapidly. It's gonna go fucking crazy in the
Yeah,
next 2 to 3 years. It's
absolutely.
just gonna happen.
Mm.
It's just gonna happen. It's just
I
upward
get
trending
donks.
everywhere. Just it's going.
It's going, yeah. I can definitely see it getting a lot bigger than, like you're saying, like Hollywood and stuff. Because it's so accessible for everyone to get to, and it's just a lot more entertaining because there's more in the line. It's not like even sports is like there's more going on and more you have to take into play than
Hmm.
you do than sports and stuff. But I can't wait to see what happens in the next few years, like you're saying as well.
Yeah, man. I think it could. That's the thing. I think it can happen. I know it can happen. We just,
Yeah,
we gotta build it. The community, we have to build it.
yeah,
We have to build
exactly.
it. Individuals building something together is amazing.
Mm,
And each individual that is working on making zombies a more competitive staple, like we already mentioned before, those people, everyone working as an individual together with their own individual perspectives on zombies and knowing things about the community, that's what's going to really prop it up. And we
yeah,
have Revived in the chat saying, I really hope we get to a point where competitive zombies gets its spark to the competitive scene. Exactly. Exactly. And this is the point that I'm going to make, and then we'll be ending off the podcast here in a minute. But the last point I'm going to make is where you spark that, where you spark the flame of competitive zombies, it all starts with the community. It all starts with us as individuals to say, hey, we want to do this.
yeah,
Let's go.
exactly,
Let's try something new. And a collection of individuals working together, doing that is a very powerful thing. It's a very powerful thing. And that's where the spark is lit. That's where trends get set. And that is where we ride the wave of esports along with the upward trend.
absolutely.
So that is that, man. That is just talking about it gets me
Get you
fired up
pumped
because I
up.
know I know this has potential.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I say. That's what I say. Well, man, good episode of the podcast. We kind of jumped
Absolutely.
around a little bit more today
Yeah.
than usual, but I think we definitely talked about a lot of cool things. We talked about a lot of very interesting things.
Mm.
COD Mobile Zombies, obviously. We talked about esports. We talked about Black Ops 4 again. It's like a staple of this
Absolutely.
podcast. We always
Black
talk about
Ops
Black
4.
Ops 4. And yeah, man, you have any other thoughts before we end off today's live stream?
Just that I'm looking forward to see what's gonna happen with COD Mobile. If they bring back zombies and Primis are in it for some reason, that's gonna be fun to play. They don't, I'll be very sad. But either
Hmm.
or, I mean, we're getting more Primis, and there's stuff that you can't complain about that.
You can't complain about that,
Exactly.
man. I mean, wonderful characters, even more wonderful voice actors. You can't complain about that.
Exactly.
But there we go, guys.